In a world where over 5.4 billion people are active on social media, why do some brands feel like trusted partners while others feel like background noise? It is a question that keeps many marketing managers up at night. The digital space is more crowded than ever, and the trust gap is widening. While nearly 80% of business leaders believe their customers trust them, only about half of consumers actually agree. This disconnect is where brands either thrive or fail. If you are currently evaluating how to move your audience from just looking to ready to buy, you are in the consideration stage of the buyer's journey. At this point, your audience knows who you are, but they are looking for a reason to trust you. Building brand credibility isn't just a nice-to-have goal. It is the primary currency of the modern economy. The real value of trust in a social world. Why does credibility matter so much right now? The data tells a very clear story. Most consumers, roughly 81%, say they must be able to trust a brand before they even consider making a purchase. In the past, a flashy ad might have been enough to drive a sale. Today, social media acts as a public ledger of a company's reputation. When you focus on building brand credibility, you aren't just making people feel good, you are driving ROI. Content marketing and social engagement generate 3 times as many leads as traditional marketing efforts, yet they cost about 62% less. It is a more efficient, more human way to grow. But how do you actually do it? How do you take a standard social media profile and turn it into a beacon of reliability? How do you increase trust? Step 1. Humanize your identity. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to ignore a corporate logo, but how hard it is to ignore a person's face? Humans are hardwired to connect with other humans, not abstract entities. One of the fastest ways to start building brand credibility is to pull back the curtain and show the people behind the products. Research shows that about 78% of consumers trust each other more than they trust traditional advertising. This is why employee-generated content, EGC, has become such a powerful tool. When your lead engineer explains a feature or your customer success lead shares a tip, it feels like a conversation, not a pitch. Actionable strategies for humanization. Share the why. Why was the company started? What problem are you genuinely trying to solve? Highlight the team. Use short videos to introduce the people who answer the phones and write the code. Ditch the script. Use a tone that is direct, yet approachable. Avoid the corporate speak that sounds like it was written by a committee. When a brand has a pulse, it becomes much harder to doubt its intentions. Authenticity is the bedrock of a credible brand. Step 2. Choosing quality over noise. The internet does not need more content, it needs better content. In the quest for building brand credibility, many companies make the mistake of posting every single day just to stay active. However, if those posts don't provide value, they actually erode trust. They become digital clutter. During the consideration stage, your audience is looking for education. They want to know how your product works, how it solves their specific pain points, and why it is better than the alternative. Studies show that 71% of marketers find that long-form, educational content is what actually drives deeper engagement. The power of video. Video is no longer optional. Approximately 78% of people say they prefer learning about a product through short-form video rather than reading a long manual. Think about how you can use video to build trust. Tutorials. Show, don't just tell, how your service works. Live Q&As. Nothing builds credibility like answering questions in real time. On platforms like LinkedIn, live videos get up to 24 times more engagement than static posts. By focusing on being helpful rather than being loud, you position your brand as a thought leader. Credibility is a natural byproduct of being the most helpful person in the room. Step 3. Leveraging the power of social proof. If you say you're great, it's marketing. If your customer says you're great, it's social proof. In the process of building brand credibility, what others say about you carries 10 times the weight of what you say about yourself. This is where user-generated content, UGC, and influencer partnerships come into play. But there is a catch. The modern consumer is very good at spotting a fake. This is why micro-influencers, those with 10,000 to 100,000 followers, are often more effective than celebrities. These smaller creators often see engagement rates of nearly 4%, compared to just 1% for major stars. Their followers trust them because they feel like peers. How to use social proof effectively. Share reviews. Case by case, instead of just a testimonials page, share specific stories of how a customer used your product to solve a specific problem. Encourage tags. When a customer tags you in a post, reshare it with permission to show that real people are using and enjoying your brand. Be transparent. About 70% of consumers feel negatively toward brands or influencers who don't disclose paid partnerships. Honesty is the only way to maintain a credible image. When a prospect sees that someone like them has had a positive experience, the perceived risk of doing business with you drops significantly. Step 4. Master the two-way conversation. Social media was never meant to be a megaphone. It was meant to be a telephone. Many brands fail to build brand credibility because they treat their profiles like one-way broadcasts. They post a link, walk away, and ignore the comments. Think about it. If you walked up to someone at a party, asked them a question, and they just stared at you before walking away, would you trust them? Probably not. Social media is no different. Social listening is the act of monitoring mentions of your brand and industry to understand the sentiment. The speed of trust. In the digital age, speed equals care. About 50% of social media users expect a brand to respond to a question or complaint within 3 hours. When you respond quickly and helpfully, especially to a public complaint, you demonstrate accountability. Turning a negative situation into a positive one in a public forum is one of the most powerful ways to build a bulletproof reputation. Step 5. Consistency as a pillar of reliability. Imagine a friend who is incredibly helpful one week but then disappears for a month. You wouldn't rely on them for anything important. Brands are the same. Building brand credibility requires a high level of consistency in 3 areas. Visual consistency. Your profiles should look like they belong to the same family. Voice consistency. Your tone shouldn't shift from super formal on LinkedIn to silly on Instagram unless there is a strategic reason. Value consistency. You should consistently provide the same high level of insight and help. Consistency signals to the brain that a brand is stable. Stability leads to trust. Trust leads to conversions. Measuring success beyond the like button. How do you know if your efforts in building brand credibility are actually working? It is easy to get distracted by vanity metrics like likes or follower counts. While these are nice, they don't always pay the bills. To measure credibility, look at trust metrics. Shares and saves. These indicate that your content was so valuable that someone wanted to keep it or give it to a friend. Sentiment analysis. Are people talking about you in a positive, neutral, or negative way? Inbound inquiries. Are people DMing you with specific questions about your services? Companies that successfully bridge the gap between social engagement and lead generation often see 67% more leads per month than those who don't. It is about moving the needle from "I've heard of them" to "I trust them to solve my problem." Why the consideration stage is the most critical. In the buyer's journey, the consideration stage is the make or break moment. The customer has moved past initial awareness. They know their problem and know you exist. Now, they are comparing you against your competitors. During this stage, your social media shouldn't just be about "look at me." It should be about "here's why we are the right choice for you." By focusing on building brand credibility through the steps we've discussed, humanization, quality content, social proof, and responsiveness, you are giving the customer the permission they need to choose you. You are removing the friction of doubt. Final checklist for your social strategy. As you move forward, keep these questions in mind to ensure you are always building brand credibility. Is it human? Would I say this to a friend in real life? Is it helpful? Does this post solve a problem or answer a question for my audience? Is it honest? Are we being transparent about our processes and partnerships? Is it consistent? Does this align with everything else we have posted this week? Is it responsive? Have we engaged with everyone who took the time to comment? By asking these simple questions, you can ensure that every post you make is a brick in the wall of your brand's credibility. The digital world is noisy, but trust is always quiet, steady, and incredibly powerful. A clear path forward. Building a trusted brand doesn't happen overnight. It is a long-game strategy that requires patience, data, and a genuine desire to help your audience. In the fast-paced world of social media, the brands that win are the ones that remember there is a real person on the other side of the screen. When you align your social media strategy with the goal of building brand credibility, you create a foundation that can weather any market shift. You move from being a commodity to being a partner. And in today's economy, a partner is much harder to replace than a product. The aspiration marketing advantage. Navigating the complexities of social media, lead generation, and brand trust can be overwhelming. You don't have to do it alone. At Aspiration Marketing, we specialize in helping businesses bridge the gap between digital visibility and measurable growth. We understand that building brand credibility is a science as much as it is an art. Our team provides tool-specific solutions to ensure your social media presence isn't just an expense, but a high-performing lead generation engine. We focus on the data that matters, helping you reach the right people with the right message at the perfect time in their journey. Whether you are looking to refine your brand voice, optimize your content strategy, or implement advanced social listening tools, we are here to help. Our goal is to make your brand the most trusted name in your industry. Are you ready to turn your social media presence into a credible, lead-generating powerhouse? Contact Aspiration Marketing today to start your strategy audit.